My motorized bike, 1954 Schwinn Panther. The rims are made by Worksman Cycle, same rims that the Postal Service uses on their heavy-duty mail delivery bikes. They weigh a ton, but they're solid. I put a 54 tooth rear sprocket. I geared it way down to go through the grass and light trails and stuff like that. So it probably tops out like between 17 and 20 miles an hour without killing the motor. A few things with the motor when I got it. One of them was I noticed a big piece of aluminum sitting right in the intake manifold. It was hung up like a casting, flashing piece of whatever. I touched it with a pick and it just fell right into the motor. So I took the whole top end of the motor apart and I got rid of a base gasket, which had two base gaskets, and I brought the piston up a little bit higher. I resurfaced all the flat surfaces on it, the head, the cylinder, the exhaust, and the intake, made them true. I got all good graded hardware anywhere I could. Got rid of all the cheaper Chinese stuff. The muffler is a still 066 Chinese aftermarket muffler. You can just order that on eBay. Actually, it's a real still muffler, but the outside piece is a Chinese dual port. I left the stock baffle in it to keep it sort of quiet, but it runs a whole lot better than that stock muffler. It's like night and day. The motor mounts are like pieces of wood that I took out of my wood pile, black olive. It's really solid wood because I wanted to put the motor where I wanted to put the motor, pretty much. And what else did I do? Let me think. Put the gas tank in the back. I used a piece of rubber underneath it to sort of absorb a little bit of the chatter. The CDI was way out of whack too when I took that off. It was completely adjusted to one side and it was shaving metal off, and the other side had a huge gap. So I had a zero gap on one side and a huge gap on the other. And I ran a tap through all the threads. Everything was pretty much stripping on me. I had to put a Healy coil on the exhaust right off the bat too. I pulled the threads right out of that sucker. And what else did I do? I used Ori grips, which I recommend a softer grip because it absorbs a lot of the vibration that goes to your hand, because these motors do vibrate. I'll show you some of the porting apparatus that I use to do the cylinder work with inside my garage. I do chainsaw stuff. In any event, this is what I use. It's made by CC Specialties. It's a Fordham motor with these, the shaft, and you got the foot pedals so you can run them at any speed. I think it's important to be able to go slow with your carbide cutters or your sandpaper rolls. You don't want to go too fast with. So I use either or to do my port work. But I'll show you, if you don't have a whole lot of stuff, I'll show you what you can get pretty easy. Like this multi-speed Dremel. You get it from Sears, Lowe's, Home Depot. But I recommend a Dremel over a drill or doing it by hand. That's just crazy. So get a multi-speed Dremel, and then you can get these carbide cutters, the long shanks on them, so you can get in and do some port work. They're 18 bucks a piece from CC Specialties. Just look up their phone number. I think they're in Georgia. Then you can get these nice mandrels for sandpaper rolls as well, and different grits of sandpaper. You can get like a variety pack of sandpaper rolls, rough grit, medium, fine, and then you can do your finish work with that. You can even do some port work just with sandpaper rolls if you want to, just getting rid of some casting flaws and whatnot. But this was the piece of aluminum that was sitting in the intake manifold. And if I wouldn't have looked in there, I touched it with a pick and it just fell right in the motor. This is the stock muffler. It's garbage. Doesn't make any power with this thing. It's a piece of shit. So any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. I just widened the exhaust port, made it oval, polished it. I widened the intake port a little bit. I raised the transfers and the exhaust a little. I had to because I lowered the cylinder down. I raised the compression just a hair, and it runs excellent. It goes through the grass like nothing. On light trails, it's got some pretty decent power. Thanks for watching.